Well, we're back at it again. This is Canada Day. Happy Canada Day to everybody listening all around the world, worldwide. 4680q.com and 4680q.ca. The infamous Jay Moore Show.
Yes.
I'm just here. I'm here to introduce Jay. That's my only function here.
Pat, it's a jam-packed show today.
It is. Jay, how you doing today?
I'm doing really good. It's Canada Day, and what better way to spend Canada Day than here in a studio talking to guests?
Talking to me.
Yeah.
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 I got to sit here and look at you for at least an hour anyway, maybe more.
You can leave the studio.
What do we got? We got somebody special to talk to today.
We're starting off the show hot. What better way to spend Canada Day than talking to an American from Detroit Rock City, the amazing Nate Matson.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you.
Oh my God, it's good. I don't even know if you remember me, but I used to book you down here in Niagara for one of the old...
Yes, I do. I do. I remember meeting Harley Race. And,
yes.
I wrestled John McChesney and a couple other guys. So
Yes. But we're here to talk about, and it is great to reconnect here through the airwaves, but we're here to talk about July 9th, 2 o'clock, going on in Essex. You got a big match, Nate Matson.
That's right, Essex Fun Fest. We go there every couple of years, and actually every year, so it's a big deal. Border City has partnered with them and the community. And so this is my big rematch. Last year I wrestled Cody Deaner for the Border City Can-Am Heavyweight Championship, which was my first time going up for that championship. I've held the tag team titles. I've held the television championship. And so now, I got to hit that triple crown and capture the heavyweight title. So this is my rematch from last year. And Cody Deaner and I have been facing each other for probably the last 15 years or so, all over the United States and Canada. So it's going to be interesting.
It's going to be really good. I mean, for something to see at the Essex Fun Fair, a Fun Fest, this is cheap because it's, you get in, the ticket's only $7 for the whole fair. And free for kids under 13. So if you get into the fair, the wrestling's kind of free. But what they're getting for that price is you guys are two of the most experienced wrestlers going, really. I mean, Deaner's been in this over a couple decades. He's been the Border City Wrestling Champion a long, long time. You're nearly 30 years and have been everywhere as well. I mean, when did you start this Border City? And I got another question, because have you ever been the Border City Wrestling Heavyweight Champion?
No, that's the one thing on my bucket list that I've got to knock off before I call it quits.
Yeah.
I have to win that championship, mainly because, I started wrestling for Border City back in 1996 when the company was really only 3 years old. Now they're coming up on 30 years this October. So I'm kind of like an OG in the Border City realm. And so, my trainers were all the guys that started Border City Wrestling, from Irish Mickey Doyle, Scott D'Amore, and Canadian Destroyer Doug Chevalier. So there's a lot of history and a lot of, my peers and my mentors that I have, trained under and learned from. So I think it's time now to reach the top of the mountain there and grab that championship.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you would make a great heavyweight champion, especially with your history in Border City Wrestling, your history in Detroit Wrestling and Windsor, all over the place. And you've worked for all the big companies, even with the WWE, Impact Wrestling, Ring of Honor. It doesn't really matter. You know your way around the ring. And I think you're a guy that could beat Cody Deaner. And it's funny that now that Border City has grown just as much as you've grown, like nearly 30 years, married themselves to Impact Wrestling. And I would love to see you, Nate Matson, actually take on Deaner, beat Deaner at Essex, and become the Border City Wrestling Heavyweight Champion.
Well, yeah, that's the goal. I've been training hard for it ever since I found out. I just picked up a win over El Reverso last weekend.
Yeah.
So it's a great time. There's a lot of momentum in my favor.
Yeah.
And Deaner likes to rely on that DDT.
Yeah.
So my whole thing is who knows? Last year I had Johnny Bravo out there with me. Of course, there were some fans that just kept getting involved in the match, which is completely unacceptable. So we have to make sure that there's some stipulations added to this match somehow to keep it fair and square in my favor.
Yeah, absolutely. And Deaner, as much as he tries to play, that he's the good guy, that he's the guy from Impact Wrestling, he doesn't really mind to slip a cheating hold behind the referee. I can guarantee you that.
Yeah, no, he's cagey, he's crafty, and but I'll be looking out for it. I know him like the back of my hand, so I'm about to smack him with it. So.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful. So this is going to be great. We also have El Reverso on the card. We have some wrestlers from Impact Wrestling, and what else do we have on the card besides?
I believe, Bhupinder. He's been going strong with Impact. We've got Jack Price, who's another Michigan wrestler who made his way into Impact. He won a gut check.
Yeah.
And so it's going to be great. It's going to be a lot of, some unique talent that hasn't been in Canada yet. I don't think Jack Price has ever been across the border here for Border City. So it'll be his first time there, and I think he's going up against El Reverso. So there's a lot of great talent that are scheduled. I'm really excited to see, exactly what's going to happen, because I know those fans, they love it. They come right up to the barricade, and they get all. And last year, I wrestled Cody Deaner in 90-degree weather for about 40 minutes.
Wow.
That match, it was a grueling hot main event. So, that was probably one of the toughest battles. But if I can survive that, and I've got Cody's number this time around.
I think so. I think we're looking at a new Border City Wrestling heavyweight champion, and there's nothing better than seeing wrestling in an environment like this when it's the Essex Fun Fest. I love it when there's new people that have not been exposed to wrestling. The kids get all around the ring. They're having a great time, and you know what? You actually can't ask for anything better and especially a ticket under $10. That's unheard of.
Yeah, especially in this day and age.
Yeah.
Where everything is just astronomical economy. The prices are going way up. This is a great ticket. This price, I mean, you can't ask for anything better. And like you said, all these Impact stars, these are world-renowned, wrestlers that are on television sets all across the world.
That's
Impact,
right.
Their reach goes really far.
It
so
does.
for all these guys to come to Essex, it's going to be incredible.
Yeah, Impact Wrestling, a global company, and it's going to be great to see Impact Wrestling. Border City Wrestling, I love that company too, and it's all happening July 9th at 2 o'clock. It's when the bell rings down at the Essex Fun Fest in Essex, Ontario. Down on Fairview Avenue, so check that out, Google that. Nate Matson, do you have anything else?
Well, yeah, tonight, actually, speaking of Jack Price, I've got a match over in Taylor, Michigan, going up against Jack Price. So,
excellent.
So we'll see. This will be a good tune-up for Deaner.
Yeah.
Like I said, I've got a win over Reverso recently. Now Jack Price is just another stepping stone, and I've got my heavyweight title shot against Deaner next week. So I'm excited. I tell you this, Cody Deaner will be amazed when he steps in the ring with me.
Yeah, I think so. The amazing Nate Matson right here on the Infamous Jay Moore Show with Pat Porter. Nate, it's been great to talk to you, my man.
Great, thank you. Great talking to you, Pat. Hey, Pat, keep up the good work.
Keep up the good work.
I'm the laugh track.
and happy Canada Day, and thank you, Jay, for having me on.
Absolutely, we'll do it again. Nate Matson, congratulations, and I'm doing it early on. I think you're going to be the next Border City Wrestling heavyweight champion.
Now that is amazing.
That is amazing. Good to talk to you, my man.
All right, take care.
Okay, take care, Nate. Thanks for talking to us today. Appreciate it. Jay Moore, you got a lot of stuff going on here today, don't you?
Yes. In about 10 minutes, we're going to be hearing from Jackie the Jokeman Martling from the Howard Stern Show.
That's right.
Have you ever listened to the Howard Stern Show?
Yeah, I've caught it occasionally.
Are you one of those guys that you're in the radio business that were against Howard?
Oh, no. I like Howard Stern.
Yeah.
I just don't have occasion to listen to him too often because I was busy listening to people that I knew locally. And whatnot.
It's funny. Jackie was a head writer for the Howard Stern Show for 18 years when Howard Stern was at his peak. Like, I'm not going to say this when Jackie's on the air, but Howard was on his peak then. Is this my microphone right? Because I'm feeling like it's loud in my headphones. I'm feeling like
let me turn your headphones down a little bit. How's that? Is that better?
That's a little bit better.
Better? You don't want to deafen you.
Yeah,
Jay Moore.
Jackie, the great thing about Jackie is he was head writer for that show when it was in its peak in the late 80s and the 90s. Yeah. And Jackie... also wrote for Rodney Dangerfield, has done all the comedy clubs in the East Coast, and he's been everywhere. He's got a new documentary coming out.
I looked all the information up that you sent to me about him, and I remember one occasion when I was doing my show at the other radio station, and I happened to check on my Facebook page that day.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, he comes up and he insults me. He starts picking on me. Apparently, you put him up to that. You called him and told him to drive me crazy or
Yes,
something.
yes,
So I'm listening for about a minute, and he's taking shots at me.
Yes,
worse than you.
You know what? And when we post this up later, I think I will rehash that old interview, and I think I got to put it up because the fans would love to see that.
Yeah, I know. It was. I didn't know what to think. I thought, oh, now everybody's going to believe him instead of me. They're going to believe you,
well,
infamous
people
Jay
love
Moore.
Jackie, and it's going to be great to hear from him.
Yeah.
Also, later on the show, Matt Kundle. Now, we heard from Kid Chris last week. You could catch that podcast in the archive.
That was great.
Yeah, Kid Chris talking about the radio business.
WBEN in Cleveland, Ohio.
Yes, WEBN. And
our podcast was played there, too.
Yes, he also has his own podcast called Kid Chris Off Air, and this is the material that he does off air.
Right.
That you can't do on the radio.
Yeah.
So Kid Chris we had a great conversation with the radio business. So this Matt Kundle is from the Sound Off podcast. He's worked all the major markets in Canada, Montreal. He's worked the Bear. Where's that, in Calgary? Yeah, I think it's Calgary.
I think so, yeah.
And Matt Kundle has a lot to say. He's very educated in the radio business. It'd be interesting to talk to him about what's going on with radio and the transition, Pat Porter.
Oh, what a transition. Bell Media, if I can say that out loud, because it's news now. Everybody's heard about this.
Everybody's heard about it.
They closed down I believe it's 9 radio stations across Canada.
Yeah.
All these people are gone. They're out of work.
Yeah.
After devoting years of their time to prodigiously working hard to make that succeed for Bell Media.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, bye guys.
Bye guys. And
don't let the door hit you on the way out.
And this isn't the first time Bell's done this. This may be the largest number
every year.
Of layoffs. Yeah.
Every year they have that thing where they talk about it's so sad to be what's that they do every Happy Talk or whatever. What's that called?
Talk to Bell or I don't remember what it's called off the top of my head.
And then a week later, let's talk about mental issues. Yeah. And then after that, they fire everybody.
Yeah. It almost seems like every quarter, Pat.
Well, it does. Yeah. It does. I keep track of that stuff.
Oh, me too.
Broadcast media. There's broadcast dialogue is what I subscribe to, and I read that every week. It comes out on Thursday.
Yes, I'm a big subscriber to that too. But everybody should listen to the Sound Off podcast if you have any interest in radio, because Matt Kundle absolutely knows what he's talking about. Mm-hmm. And then later on in the show, I think we may be going long this show. It's a Canada Day special. But
are you going to pay me extra for this?
No, I'm not paying you extra. Vince Valor, people know Vince Valor from Neo Pro Wrestling, but he's doing a show for Empire State Wrestling in the United States in Batavia, New York, and we're going to talk to him about that, Pat Porter.
Good.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah. So it's a big show. Big show, Pat Porter.
Everything's a big show.
Yes.
Like Ed Sullivan used to say, big shoe. I got a big shoe tonight, eh?
Yes.
Topo Gijo's going to be here. Yeah.
Yes. And from our producer, Todd Page, is telling you to turn your trim down, Pat Porter. I knew something wasn't right. It's echoing in my headphones. How can I talk to a global superstar like Jackie Martling when you're
yakety. Here we go again. I thought you were going to do a regular show today and not insult me.
This is not a regular show. This is a huge show.
You text Todd back and say, Todd, which button is the trim so that I can find? He's got 1,000 buttons on here.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess we need him back.
Todd is the chief engineer here.
I guess we need him to babysit you. I don't know.
Can you text and talk at the same time? I doubt it. Can you walk and talk at the same time? Can you chew gum?
What? The top knob.
The top knob.
Yes.
I'm the top knob.
Yes, you are the top knob.
You're the second knob. Okay, turn the trim down on what? You?
I don't. Yeah, I think I do sound right.
Turn it down on me, maybe. How's that? Is that better?
I don't know.
All right, you got the top knob.
There you go. The top knob. That sounds way better.
Todd, we got your knob here.
We got your knob. We got it all fixed up, and sorry to waste the airtime. I think we're gonna play a song, Pat.
You think so? You got a good song? Well, let me just make sure that we got everything in place for that. We'll do Todd's knobs on the song too, and whenever you're ready, just go ahead and hit it.
All right, a little Black Sabbath here on 4680Q.
Jay Moore, we have somebody on the phone that wants to talk to you. Somebody special here.
We did it.
Yeah, who's this? Yeah?
Hello?
Jackie, we did it. We have the Jokeman here on 4680Q. This is unbelievable.
I got confused. I didn't know how many people are sitting there in the studio. What do you got, a baseball team there?
Well, no, we did have a baseball team because none of this equipment worked, and I said, hey, we have Jackie the Jokeman calling in. We need to get everything rocking and rolling here.
Yeah, I'm thrilled he took my call. I'm 75 years old, and he finally got it together to make a documentary about me.
Yeah.
And I am so excited, I can't tell you. I mean, Jesus Christmas. I've been at it for a long time. I think I started telling jokes right after I stopped watching professional wrestling.
You know something, Jackie? I'm excited about the documentary as well because this is something I've heard you talk about for a long, long time on other shows, and I knew there was a documentary coming out, and now it's finally here. July 18th, this thing is ready to roll. It's going to be on Apple, iTunes, and Amazon, and I cannot wait.
The feedback, knock on wood, but the feedback has been over the moon, better than we ever expected. And we're getting so many requests for phone calls and podcasts, and I'm really excited. I hope it opens people's eyes up to me a little bit and makes them laugh, and it's all in the spirit of good stuff. It's not like a take anybody down.
No.
It's just a celebration,
No, and this is exactly why I wanted to have you on the show, because I want to celebrate Jackie as well, because let me tell you something, I know, you're going to hear about Stern a lot when you do the media stuff, but I mean, for me, listening to Howard Stern in what I call the peak, that's just my words, what I call the peak of the show, is when you were on it, and literally I grew up listening to you every single day, and
that's why you became such an idiot then.
No, don't say that. You can't insult Jackie on here. You can't insult Jackie.
It's funny. So many people tell me, from all different ages. I listen in grammar school because my father had it on. I listen in high school.
Yeah.
But the consensus is everybody really loved. Like from 88 to 2000.
That's right.
And right the middle of the 90s when it was me and Billy West.
Yeah.
Along with the regular gang, we were cooking with gas.
Well, they called you guys the Beatles of radio, and I mean, this has gone all over the world before there was any of this internet or anything like that. You were in syndicated markets, and everybody knew that era of Howard Stern before Sirius Satellite and everything where you can hear it worldwide.
Yeah, it kicked ass, and when I called us that, I said we're the Beatles of radio, and they broke my balls about that for weeks until somebody said, you know what, that's exactly who they are.
That's exactly.
Howard didn't like that because Howard thought, Howard was, the lead singer, and there was no band. He was, he was
a one-man band.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was Wayne Newton, but no, it was a team effort. It definitely was.
It definitely was, absolutely. I mean, you're literally the head writer, like feeding them, right.
Yeah, and people are going to see that. People are going to finally see that because there's a lot of people that don't know that. I don't even know, where are you guys? Where am I talking?
We're in Niagara Falls, in Canada, in Ontario. It's Canada Day today, Jackie.
Oh, I love Canada.
Yeah.
You know what happened to us in Canada? We got on the air in Toronto and Ontario.
That's right.
And we went to #1 right away, and a couple weeks later they put us on in Vancouver.
Yeah.
And they hated us so bad in Vancouver that they even took us off in Toronto.
Yeah. I remember those years. They shut it all down. It was Q107, and I think you were on in Montreal. And I had to listen to it on an AM station out of Buffalo, New York, because I'm close to Buffalo here. For years, you were on in Buffalo. So, yeah, I remember it getting shut down. Nobody liked that kind of radio back.
Yeah, they're flower-colored people up in Vancouver, that's all.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, to hell with them. We were having fun. That's all. You can't blame us for having some fun.
No, it was the greatest time of my life. But Jackie, on the documentary, you like you said earlier, you got a lot of people that are gonna put their 2 cents in. They have some interviews. You got Willie Nelson, Penn Jillette, Billy West, Artie Lang, even Mark Cuban, Sean Young, and former Stern staffers. That's great.
Yeah, it's a whole potpourri. It's a real eclectic gang. And I have the trailer up on Jokeland.com. That's the easiest thing for people to remember. So if they just go to Jokeland, just like it sounds, Jokeland.com, they could just click and see the trailer. And it's a pretty nice trailer, and people are getting a kick out of it. And July 18th, we're going to find out what happens. See who runs it up the flagpole. But hopefully lots.
Isn't it amazing, Jackie, that I think that your whole career has been comedy and entertainment? Like, you've never had a regular job, have you?
Well, I worked construction for 4 months in Denver, Colorado in 1973, and my fingers were so sore I couldn't play my guitar, and I said, you know what, that's about enough of this.
That's about enough of this. But that's got to be hard to make your way through comedy. I mean, like, you actually did it. Like, your career is absolutely amazing. I mean, there's comedians and things out there that will never touch what you do. Like, I'm not throwing shade on comedians, but I mean, really, like, it's you've had a life full of doing this, and that's amazing.
Well, I had the nicest compliment. I did a podcast with a guy yesterday, and he said, you know what? After I watched the trailer to your documentary, and then I watched the documentary, he said, I want more. So he said, I went and bought your book. And he actually listened to my audio version of my book on double speed so we could hear the whole book before he interviewed me. I said, this guy was like 28 years old.
Yeah.
Some of these people weren't even born when I left the show. It's very flattering, very flattering.
Well, Jackie, I will say, without prepping to interview you, I've read your book, Bow to Stern, twice, and I love that book.
I appreciate it. And now do me a favor. Email me. I don't mind if your listeners want to email me. I answer everything. My email is jokeland@AOL.com. I'm on AOL. Jokeland@AOL.com. And if you email me, let me send you the half of the book that wasn't published.
Oh, really?
If you like the book, you will love some of the chapters. You're going to be like, how the hell did he leave out those chapters? The whole chapter about the making of the movie Private Parts.
Oh, I would love that.
It's its own book. It's pretty fun.
Yeah, that is amazing. And also, one thing that I'm just going to throw out there just because I love it so much. This is another thing I grew up on. 922 wine, baby. I used to call that thing every day as a kid.
That whole thing, that's going to be a whole nother documentary, the whole story of how that happened. It's just amazing. Well, listen, I certainly hope I get to talk to you guys again once the thing is actually up. And, that's when it's going to be really fun, is where I can say, hey, go right now and click and order it, Yeah,
absolutely. And I'd love to have you back when it is on, and we will get the fans' reaction and the other half of that book, man.
Oh, for sure.
All right, well, definitely email me, jokeland@AOL.com, and I don't know, it's like 20 or 25 unpublished chapters.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'll send you a couple filthy songs, and I'll send you the bad book that I started in the early 70s.
Yeah.
That I should be embarrassed. My computer should explode.
Jokeland@AOL.com, and Jokeland, it's been running, 30 years now, just Jokeland. Dirty jokes.
The 516-922-WINE.
That's right.
Is in its 43rd year.
43rd year. Absolutely unbelievable.
I started that joke line to promote the first comedy show on Long Island.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're around long enough, a lot of crap happens. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I mean, Jackie, here's another, I'm just going to throw this out here before I leave you. There's something that is amazing to me. Like, I think it's in your blood to do this because you are a guy that has remembered every joke you ever heard since age 8. And I've seen this Stump the Joke Man, and you never lose. I've never seen you lose.
Well, occasionally you lose, but what can you do? And it's really, I tell people it's funny because now I'm 75 years old and I know every joke in the world, and then somebody will say, why'd the chicken cross the road? And I'll go, I used to know that. I know I used to know that joke.
Yeah. Unbelievable. I used to know that, yeah. Is it different, Jackie? Because I know you still play the clubs. Is it different? Obviously, it's a different environment today than back in the day.
No, not for me. I don't change my stripes. I was never that offensive. You know, if you can't laugh at sex and poop and a little difference in religion or nationalities, you know, then don't come to my show. Stay home. We'll meet you.
And I love that. A man that doesn't change his stripes. I mean, you're going after it the way you've always do it, and you're still doing it today, man. And that's unbelievable.
Well, it's a good news, bad news story. The good news is I've never changed my stripes, and the bad news is because it's the same jokes.
But you get away with it, Jackie. You do. You do.
I do my best. Well. Make sure you email me. I'd love to hear from you guys, and I certainly appreciate the airtime. And tell your listeners, listen, folks, go watch the trailer. Go to Jokeman.com, watch the trailer, and if you don't like it, email me, and I'll pretend you said something nice and send you back a bunch.
That's right.
That's how I operate.
It comes out July 18th, Apple, iTunes, and Amazon. And Jackie, I love it. And I love that you called in today, man, and we're going to promote it all over the place.
We're going to have you back, too, Jackie. For sure.
Okay, if you're not careful, I'll show up there in person.
That would be great. And Jackie, just in proper tradition, at the end of the show today, we're going to do the plugs for you.
Now how nice is that?
Yeah.
That reeks of the Stern Show era.
Yes. There you go. 922 Wine and Jackie everywhere. Just Google them. What more do you need? The documentary is all over. It's going to be all over the place, and it's going to be good.
Thank you, fellas. I appreciate it.
Jackie the Jokeman, I love you, man. Thank you for calling in. I appreciate everything.
Take care, Jackie.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Happy Canada Day. Guys, funny guy.
Oh,
Tell the story of what you had him do to me.
Well, Jackie, I knew him from the days of wrestling in New York, and I used to go to the Friars Club and watch Jackie, and there you go, Pat Porter. Jackie officially hung up from you. Officially.
There we go. Jackie's gone.
So, I had a good run with Jackie in the New York days, and I just asked him because we were doing promos for the old radio station on your old show when I used to call in before noon, and I used to promote that all the time, and we got Jackie to do a little video where I think he said you owed him money.
Yeah, he did.
And he cut you down pretty good.
Sorry, Jackie, you're not getting it. Too bad.
I think he
got
still
no
wants money. And I'm going to post that today, Pat Porter. I'm going to post the old video because I still have it. We still own everything. I don't care what the old radio station says. Jackie would love it, and I love it. And Pat Porter, whether you like it or not, you're going to love it.
It is funny. Yeah. The first time I saw it, when it was posted on my sites, I thought, what's this? What's Infamous Jay Moore doing to me now? Here we go again.
Here we go again.
Yeah, but it is funny. We'll put it up.
Pat Porter, we should talk about some of the things going on today with Rock and Blues on the Battlefield, and it's already in progress down in Thorold, Pat Porter. I think Riley Michaels...
Well, actually, it starts at 4 o'clock. I mean, everybody's there now.
Oh, I thought it started at 2.
That's tomorrow.
Oh, tomorrow.
But today, Dave Rave.
Yes, from Teenage Head and friend of the radio station and friend of the show. We love Dave Rave. He's starting at 4
He's going to be at the Battle of Beaver Dams Park today for Canada Day Rock and Blues on the battlefield. It's free. It doesn't cost anything. So if you're thinking, what am I going to do for the rest of the day? Get down there at the band shell in the Battle of Beaver Dams Park, Front Street, right at the corner of Sullivan Avenue in Thorold. Kind of like a 3-minute walk from downtown Thorold.
It's nothing.
Yeah. So Dave Rave at 4 o'clock. He plays till 5:30. Used to be with Teenage Head. He still is with Teenage Head. He played the what did he play? The Elmo Combo.
The Elmo Combo a couple weeks ago, and he's still doing tours. He's all over the place. He was all over the States a couple weeks ago, and I tried to get him on the show, but he was just too busy.
Too busy. We did a show with him at the Regency about a month ago with the Rick Rose Band.
Yeah, great show. I highly suggest people watch Dave Rave today, especially it's free.
Yeah, 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
And then at 6 o'clock, the Marty Allen Band.
Yeah.
Country music.
Yeah, everybody loves Marty Allen. No doubt
he's
about that.
big in Niagara, really big in Niagara. Yep. Vinyl Flux takes to the stage at 8 o'clock tonight till 10 o'clock. 2 big hours of the best classic rock band there is.
Absolutely, Vinyl Flux. And we follow that with some fireworks to celebrate 156 years old, Pat Porter. You know what it's like to be 156 years old.
I'm only about half that age.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, tomorrow... is another day. They're going to keep it going tomorrow.
Yes.
Excuse me, making me choke here.
That's okay.
Jay.
Riley Michaels starts up
2
at
o'clock. 2 o'clock tomorrow.
And by the way, Riley Michaels has a brand new release out on Spotify. You can check that out.
Oh, good.
I think it's called Sunrise Sunset. Mm-hmm. Yes, so check that out, Riley Michaels.
Red Dirt Revelators take the stage at 4 o'clock in the afternoon tomorrow.
Red Dirt Revelators, and your favorite coming up after that.
Weber Brothers.
The Weber Brothers.
Ryan and Sam, the Weber Brothers. They were on my show a couple of weeks ago.
Yes.
The guys are unbelievable. Just the greatest in roots and blues and classic rock and country, all fused together.
Check that out, but if you want to hear a little preview of that, check out the Pat Porter Show in the archives on 4680q.com.
Mm-hmm. It's listed right there under Ryan Weber. And Monkey Junk closes out the evening tomorrow, 8 o'clock until 10 o'clock.
Yeah, Monkey Junk is...
Funk band.
I think this is one of the best shows going for Canada.
Who do we have to thank for that?
Well, we have to thank the
Bob
great Bob Liddicoat.
Yeah, that's right. Every year, Bob puts together this great show, hires the music, hires the bands, and they're always outstanding.
I called Bob for today, and he said, "No, I don't want to talk to you."
No, he doesn't want to talk to you anymore.
No.
He's busy down there.
He's busy, Pat Porter.
He's running around at the Battle of Beaver Dams Park, making sure everything goes smoothly.
Yes.
We got to also say something nice about the mayor of Thorold, Mayor Terry Ugolini.
Oh, again?
Why not? He's a great mayor.
Yes.
He thanks us all the time.
Yes.
He gets the politicians on stage, and they speak for about a half an hour each.
Yes.
And then
that's a show in itself.
Yeah. And then the show goes on with all the music. But it's a great time. Get down there for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Pat Porter, I say we play a little music and come back with Matt Kundle from the Sound Off Podcast.
All right.
Give me a little bit of volume on this.
What they've been saying must be true.
All right. Tell you what we're going to do here. We're fading that song down there. We got our next guest on the line. He accidentally called Jay Moore's cell phone.
This number, okay?
Jay's talking on the cell phone. Hang up your cell phone here.
Pat Porter.
Yeah, what?
I just screwed up.
Hang on a second. You didn't screw up.
Yes, I did.
We got the number there.
I killed a song. You know what? Let's just go right back to the song, and we'll come back with Matt Condon.
Okay. Nice family song there for you. Yeah. All right, Jay, what else we got? We got another song, or are we going to get our guest on here?
Crew, Smoking in the Boys' Room. Come back to Matt Condon. How
Sounds
about
good. All right, good level on that now. I got 1, 2, or 4. What's his name? Matt Condon? Smoking in the boys' room. What are they smoking? They're vaping. That's what they're doing.
Yeah, that's what we do now, Pat Porter.
we have Matt Condon on the line, infamous Jay Moore.
Yes, from the Sound Off podcast. This is gonna be great.
Hi guys, how you doing?
Good. How you doing, Matt?
Doing well. Happy Canada Day from Gimli, Manitoba.
Yes, and happy Canada Day from Niagara Falls. I'm sure it's gonna be a big celebration here. They usually light up the falls and the whole deal.
We're gonna have the same tonight. We have no fire ban.
Oh, you have no fire ban.
We have no fire ban. We're gonna go with the fireworks.
Well, that's the best when you can do the fireworks with no fire ban.
We couldn't breathe here for about 3 days, but things are a little bit better right now, so we're allowed to go outside again.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Matt Condon, the reason I called you and I wanted you on the show is because I'm a very, very big fan of the Sound Off podcast, and I thought it was interesting what has been going on, obviously, the past couple weeks. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about, the Bell layoffs. So not that I'm zoning in on that. I just find that myself and my partner, Pat Porter here, he spent almost 50 years in terrestrial radio. I spent 7, and we moved to this online radio, and actually are loving it, Matt, and I know that you're kind of the same way. I mean, you work some major markets, and now doing this Sound Off podcast, and just kind of wondering what your feelings are about it.
Well, as I look to where we are right now in 2023 and where we've come from, I think we wasted a lot of time in radio not taking care of the product. And I think the agreement, when you want to put a station on the air, it's between the licenser and the licensee. So that would be the CRTC, and that would be the company that has the license. And both parties essentially did nothing for many, many years. Now, I think Bell really expanded their radio game in 2008.
Yeah.
But, you've been holding on to the license for that long. I mean, I think if you've been working in the business, you saw that there was going to be things that needed to change, whether that was the regulations for, CanCon, they needed to be fixed. We were playing a lot of old music, and we really never had an emerging artist category until just a few months ago.
Yeah.
There's been so much that needed to be done. So, the regs just being updated recently, I mean, the last time they were updated, I think it was like 1999, and that predates Napster. So,
wow.
and so much has gone on, and so nobody's really taking care of the thing. So, like any piece of anything that you leave in your backyard for many, many years, it gets rusted, it starts to deplete, and that's where radio, and especially AM radio, is right now.
It makes me wonder why that happened. Why was it left so long? Did nobody ever think, maybe we need some changes in
Fear. Yeah, they didn't want to upset the apple cart and upset the people that might call in and complain.
Oh.
Yeah, those people.
Well, I think it speaks to the companies that wound up owning them. They were not first radio companies. One was a cable company. The second one's a cable company. The other one's a phone company.
Yeah.
The other one's both cable and phone.
Yeah.
So these are not what, the radio is really just there to promote, the buying of phones or, cable packages, promoting the 6 o'clock news.
Yeah.
And I think that was the value that those companies look. They've got shareholders to answer to. You've got to get to the next quarter.
Mm-hmm.
And so the thinking is only for the next, 3 months.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, who's going to sit around in a meeting and go, hey, by the way, don't you think we should really look at the future of radio?
Mm-hmm.
No, let's find a way to sell more phones. Let's find a way to do a deal with Apple to, move more iPhones. Or
Yeah.
something. And so that's really, the crux of it. It was really on the CRTC to come back and say, I think we need to have a discussion about the future of AM. And at the same time, we could have been having discussions about the Internet. We could have all these things. And by the way, these two bills that have recently passed, Bill C-11 and Bill C-18, which is the Online News Act, both of these bills, by the way, are relatively new. We could have been talking about this many, many years ago.
Yeah.
But instead, we've left it to government to sort of write rules. And, I mean, whether you're for or against these bills, they're already outdated because of the arrival of artificial intelligence.
Yeah, exactly. And I know, Matt, you're saying, no one's going to sit around a boardroom and say, what do we do with radio? But in fact, don't you feel it? Because in my opinion, there's some parts of radio and the culture, the way it's going now, that is kind of diluted. It's not even what it used to be. Maybe I'm a fan of how things were in the 90s.
Personality.
Yeah, personality. There is no personality.
That's why I left my last station. They said, well, just play the music and read the weather and, just use your first name. And I said, bye.
Yeah.
So here we are.
And all that the pandemic really put an end to that. So I think around 2014, again, we could have been having these discussions, but there was Spotify.
Mm-hmm.
And so, who are the people who are saying, what radio really is local and it's personality. Mm-hmm. And nobody was really investing in those two things. You get rid of the personality and then you get a voice track from somewhere else. So you're really killing the two best things about radio.
That's exactly right.
One set of layoffs at a time. And so sometime around 2020, right when the pandemic hit, people began to say, I really love radio for the personality more than they would for the music.
Sure.
So the music is ubiquitous. You can get that anywhere.
Yeah.
We have it on our phones. We take it with us. But I can't get your show unless I go right to you, whether it's a radio station or it's online or it's a podcast.
Yeah.
And now people have figured that out. And I think it feels like it's late in the game for AM. I don't think it's too late for FM.
It's almost gone, AM. It's almost gone.
Well, I mean, listen, here you are. We're talking on an online radio station. Would you go and buy an AM radio station in your area for $1?
I wouldn't take one for free.
No, not at all.
It's too, and again, that could have been a conversation where we say, well, let's start to migrate some of this. And I think the onus will be on you to do it online. And to create, to get involved with the speakers' devices and to do, whether it's podcasting or online, it's going to be on you. And by the way, there are still some successful AM radio stations, some great brands out there doing some great things. But, when you have a company like Bell that basically says, take these 6 licenses back, we don't want them anymore.
Yeah. And
the other alarming thing that happened in the States is ESPN is just laid off a whole bunch of people from they're not interested in 24-hour news and sports anymore. They're really, they let go of a whole bunch of people, and I don't know what they're going to do with those AMs. But it doesn't sound like they're going to be investing much more in that
ethnic music, and talk radio. That's about it.
I don't know that the music is even going to work on AM. I just don't think anybody's young enough to do it.
I agree.
But I think we should be, I think there was an opportunity where, I think the licensor should just say, listen, Bell, if you're going to give these back, I mean, I think you should probably, the job is on you to sell it to somebody who's going to innovate. But maybe the CRTC, they're not in the business of licensing things to people who are going to go broke. So it's troublesome at this point.
It's very troublesome, and it's just and what investor is going to invest in the antennas? What do you call them? The
transmitter, the towers, the big towers, the big field,
yes.
The house in the front, all that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if we all pooled our money together, we'd go broke. The minute a fuse breaks.
Exactly.
To go and fix an AM transmitter.
Exactly. Yeah. And the thing is, now with these podcasts, and literally anybody could set up a podcast, so you're getting all these personalities. Like you got so much competition out there, and still radio will not bring a personality in it that change things up. It's just mind blowing to me.
Can I just give a quick example, just briefly?
Sure.
I worked at a station where personality was king, and we had the top-rated station in Niagara for 5 years in a row, and they got rid of the personalities. They said, just play the music, read the weather, and bang, it tanked that fast.
Yeah, and it would, because people have figured out that you don't need to say, coming up in 3 minutes we have the weather, because you can ask your device to give you the weather immediately if you just say the words that I won't say because I'll trigger some devices somewhere.
Yeah.
I do want to mention, by the way, that further to Congress in the U.S. has just put a bill saying we got to keep AM radio in the cars. Oh. They're not having the conversations in the U.S. either. And the other thing that came up, and this was by Tim Parent, who I believe has worked in the Niagara region in news. I think he worked in St. Catharines at one point and then worked out in Calgary. But, he had a tweet that basically said that there's nobody, in the middle of a storm, there's nobody really on the air. And so I hear radio people say, well, we got to keep this for an emergency. I'm not so sure people, go to it for an emergency.
It's a voice track that's on the air when there's a storm or traffic problems.
Yeah, I think that's a lie that radio tells everybody at conventions and conferences.
Yeah. And I mean, most people now with the, you have social media out there, like literally, and you can just go on, you can get a weather app, just, check the weather at any time you want without going to the radio like the old days.
Why would you listen to 8 commercials in a row just to get the weather at the other end?
Well, no, you wouldn't, and people aren't, and especially young people are not doing that. I do have a few radio stations that I do listen to, and I will sit through a few commercials. But again, I'm asking my device to play that to me. My favorite station, it happens to be in the Hudson Valley, just outside of New York City. Mm-hmm. Just for fun, it's 107.1 The Peak. Okay. But I can just ask the device to play that, and in my car, I can listen to WKTU out of New York City for some top 40. I can listen to you guys and anytime I want, just by asking and just by punching it up in the car.
I'm in total agreement with that. I'm a huge fan with terrestrial radio with some of the huge stations, and I hate to see it go, but even some of the places you worked at, like the Bear, I'll put that in online, and it's just one of those things I don't want to see go away. But now you're working in the podcast, you work some of these markets like the Bear, and then you were in Montreal. And how do you like the change? I mean, because you worked at it. I mean, these are major markets in Canada. These are major stations that you worked at, and then you're all of a sudden departed from that and into podcasting and having to start it on your own. How did that shift work out for you?
It worked out really well for me. I got lucky by discovering the business of podcasting. We had our morning show. We would put that into the iTunes store back in 2007. So I'm not quite an early adopter, but I've had podcasts around in my life for since then. But when I went to see people podcasting, I kind of thought, these are all the talent that we let go, or it's all the talent that we wouldn't give an overnight show to. Mm-hmm. It's all the talent who had a great wrestling show that we wouldn't put on sports radio. Mm-hmm. It's all the people who were basically told no by radio, whether it was public radio, private radio, and they were doing their own thing. And, it was people who wouldn't pick up news stories. And then the next thing you know, we've got a podcast that's getting people, freed from jail sentences.
Absolutely.
So I thought there was a whole world out there. I would sort of say that I still keep the two in different piles. So I still think podcast is very much on demand, the way that we would, look at Netflix, or we would look at, a streaming service where you're going to pick and choose. And radio is still live and local, hopefully, and doing it that way. So I think that the beauty of live radio is still there.
Me too. I do. Do you think it's going to go away ever, or is it going to be there? Like, what does the next 5 years look like?
Well, I really hope we find something innovative for it.
Yeah.
I kind of thought maybe Google or Apple would want to buy some stations. Turns out they don't want to. I think that, again, there's a lot of overhead that goes with it.
Yeah.
I think that FM radio is going to find a way to work with their personalities to make it so that they can have a product that they can sell, that they can. I don't know that there's any necessarily for AM. And, to those conversations, I think in 2009, we applied for CJOB in Winnipeg to move over to FM, and it was rejected.
Wow.
And just I think a few weeks ago, Calgary, QR77, Chorus, same company, they just moved it over to Q107. They moved AM 77 or 77 over to Q107. They didn't even ask the CRTC, and I think that's the new thing, is we just don't ask the CRTC.
Yeah. I mean,
we just do it and figure it out later.
100%, because it just seems like you're going against the grain, asking the CRTC anything.
I think the CRTC is really 12 people. They're largely overpaid.
Yeah.
They really do not want you to create work for them.
Yeah.
Most of them come from the telephone side of things. A few come from like independent film. If you go and read the resumes, there's nobody there from radio who has extensive radio experience.
Wow.
And so I don't, I think it's really been detrimental since 2007 when phone companies began to take over radio. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, we had something else coming. That was social media.
Yeah.
And social media was really sort of to infringe as well. So you had those two things happening at once, which has led us here to where we are today, which is I don't know necessarily what the future is of these. I still think FM radio has a decent future if they can find a way to get some personalities and a good combination of personalities, music, and it's the bigger markets that I think are going to do well, but you can still do well in smaller markets as well, as long as you stay local.
Yeah, as long as you stay local and the sponsors are still there. Matt, I'm asking you about the podcast, and of course we don't know the future of that, but do you have any answer for short term? Like, how does anybody monetize and make money at this?
At podcasting?
Yeah. I mean, everybody's out there doing it, and there's really haven't found a way of monetizing or making money. So is the day gone of being a personality that can make a living doing this?
Well, it's funny you mention that because, Charles Adler, who's been on the air across Canada and the United States, I'm going to be part of the production team launching his show on Tuesday, and I'll be able to answer that question maybe in a year to find out how well we're going to do with that one.
Yeah,
entity and brand. We're going to record it and have some video, but we're also going to have it available on podcast every day. And a lot of it is just let's try it and see. Mm-hmm. And people who come to me and say I want to do a podcast, I'm like, well, it's a different strategy for every particular show.
Sure.
I can't just say here's price A, price B, price C, because it's different, and not everybody really needs ads in their podcast. It could be a partnership. It could be something completely different where you just have one person sponsor the whole thing. It could be a Patreon account. You could have people who just want to send you money. It could be, there's a Buy Me a Coffee where people will give $5. Mm-hmm. It's really whatever it is that you can arrange, for your show. I do like to think that the riches are in the niches with podcasting. So I've had a show that has 50,000 downloads in 90 days, and it doesn't do nearly as well as the one that has 2,000 downloads or 6,000 downloads in 90 days. Mm-hmm. And it's because it's on a niche subject such as camping and going outside.
Yeah, amazing. You know what is amazing about doing a podcast or this online radio is you can find your own angle to make money at it, and B, there's no more of these corporate rules. Like, you're doing whatever you want, any way you want, find your niche,
Yeah, radio is a collection of 30s and 60s, and maybe a little bit of, some side digital. Yeah. And they never really got away from that addiction to find other ways to get involved with the money. But, you've got to be innovative with this. But at the same time, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and not talk about Facebook and Google and how they have pulled a lot of money into their ecosphere. It has hurt locally. I don't think the legislation is very good, and the solution that the government has come up with is helpful. As we're talking right now, Facebook and Google are not sharing news links on their platforms.
Right.
But at the same time, we know this is where the innovation comes in. What can we do to encourage people to keep money in the community, to support local journalism, and to support your local radio station? And listen, I'll say newspaper. I'll throw them in too. Newspapers have not done themselves any favors.
No,
they should have been doing podcasting, and all you had to do was look at the Washington Post and the New York Times. But they're late to the game.
Absolutely. Yeah. Now everybody's doing it. Pretty much it's all out there. I find it fascinating. Matt, I'm one of those guys that were handcuffed and couldn't get into terrestrial radio. And just like you say, there's some wrestling shows out there. There's other shows out there where you couldn't let them go. And I had to get out here and do it online and do my own thing. And really, I had a massive education listening to your podcast, the Sound Off Podcast. I think it's very interesting, the stuff you say, the guests that you have on there, and self-taught by you, my friend, Matt Kundle.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it. There's opportunities out there, and I think I spent a long time, between 2014 and sometime into 2016, really not knowing what I was going to do, and there was some radio consulting gigs that I had and a few other things, but once I went to a radio convention or conference, and what the stuff they were talking about, I said, well, if I just bottle this into a podcast every week and share it with people, we can really move things forward.
I love it. I hope you keep it going. I know that you will. And Matt Kundle, I suggest it to everybody, the Sound Off Podcast.
Thank you. I really, really, really appreciate it. And if anybody, by the way, and I think giving back is important.
Yeah.
If anybody is thinking about starting a podcast and just has questions so that they can get started, it's totally free to reach out to me. And it's matt@mattkundle.com. And you can just, we'll set up a time. I'll give you a half hour, no charge. We'll just get you started and get you thinking about it.
Matt Kundle, has been fascinating talking to you. I appreciate everything.
Well, I just love being on your show on Canada Day, too. So
on Canada Day, Matt, and I hope to talk to you again. We'll have you back at any time, and it's just one of my things. It's my hobby. I love it.
Fantastic, Matt. I enjoyed every minute of it, too.
Thanks. Well, it's always when radio people get together to talk radio and broadcasting, it's always a great conversation.
Sure is,
it could go forever. It literally could go forever. Happy Canada Day, Matt. Thank you very much.
And to you guys, thanks a lot.
Take care. Take care, Matt. Talk to you again. All right. Matt Kundle, boy, fantastic guy there.
Yeah,
a lot of interesting stuff that he had to say about radio.
Absolutely.
Where it's been, where it's going, and how it's all getting there.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, we're going in overtime, Pat Porter, because I have one more guest. Let's play one more song, get him on the line. Do you have any plugs?
You got a song there for us?
Yes.
What do you got? Yeah?
Let's do a little Psycho Killer.
A little Helen Reddy.
Little Psycho Killer. On 468EQ. Online radio, we got freedom here, baby.
Don't touch me, I'm a real live wire.
Psycho Killer. What's this stuff you got here going on?
You don't like this, do you?
No, I know. It's
you
good.
Want to turn it off? You know what?
I thought you were going to play some Helen Reddy.
I'll ruin the show by shutting down all the music. Some people like listening to the music.
Oh yeah, it's good music. Yeah.
I will delete it from the playlist.
No.
Because you don't like it.
I love it.
Anybody concerned about it and wants to hear music, you can email us here at 468Q.
Next Saturday we'll play some Helen Reddy.
Blame Pat Porter.
Right. Yeah, sure. Okay. We got a guest here, Jay. Introduce him.
Yes, Mr. Vince Valor.
Are you there, my friend? Vince.
I'm here.
Yes, Vince Valor. You're live on the air here. Vince J. Moore here, and good to have you on the air, my friend.
Glad to be a part of it. Thank you.
Yes, I've been seeing you doing the media rounds for a big show coming up in Batavia, and that's interesting. How you feeling about that? You go there, once or twice a year?
It's actually our first time here for Batavia, but we're at the Nickel City Con right now in Buffalo promoting it. We're promoting some stuff for Batavia, stuff for the school, the Buffalo Wrestling Academy. Yeah, getting a lot of traffic here for a lot of fans coming through asking about the show, so it's all good.
Yeah, I wanted to get my
downstairs ripping tickets, so we're all set here.
Beautiful. I wanted to get my hand in it because this looks like a big show, and I'm a big fan of Empire State Wrestling, and also you, Vince Valor. Of course, you were training here back in the day with Neo Pro, but man, you've been almost a decade in this business, and a lot with ESW.
Yeah, started my career with Neo. Neo's always holds a place near and dear to my heart. It's where I got my start. It's where I'm happy to return there a couple months back. ESW is my home these days. I'm really happy with what we're doing, what we're building here, and looking forward to debuting in Batavia.
I'm happy with it too. This shows Mayhem at McCarthy at the McCarthy Ice Arena in Batavia. And what's the date on this again? July 16th. July 16th. You can get your tickets at eswtix.com. Vince Valor, you're teaming with family, which I find interesting. Bill Collier.
I am. Real life brother, going for the Tag Team Championships.
Yeah.
I held the Tag Team Championships with ESW before. It's been a couple of years.
Yeah.
Got my sights on the Heavyweight Championship at the moment, but I'm never doing too much where I can't team with my brother and try to take home some Tag Team gold.
Have you teamed with your brother before? It doesn't seem like that's a regular thing to me, is it?
Couple times here and there. When we do, it's considered a bigger deal, but I mean, I really enjoy tagging with him. We have that natural chemistry built in, so it's exciting to team with him.
It's a great tag team, and you're facing High Seas, are the ESW Tag Team Champions right now?
Yeah, they've been Tag Team Champions for a little over a year. I've been in the ring with Cloudy, Nick Ando a bunch. They're a wonderful tag team. They're great. They're champions for a reason, but we're going to be having a great match that night.
Yeah, I think you're going to be able to take it. I think you guys, being yourself and your brother Bill, would be great as tag team champions of ESW.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to another tag team title run.
Yeah, absolutely, man. That's going to be a great match. Also, you got some big wigs on there. You got Ted DiBiase, Jake the Snake Roberts. They're making appearances. Buff Bagwell.
Yeah, we got Buff Bagwell, Jake the Snake, Ted DiBiase. A lot of people here at the Comic-Con are excited. We got the flyers on the table here talking about the show, so they're all excited to see some of these guys come back.
Yeah. What do they got at the Comic-Con as far as wrestlers right now?
They have Sergeant Slaughter, Bruce Beefcake, and Greg Valentine.
Oh, beautiful.
Sting was supposed to be here, but he had to cancel because of injury the other night on AEW.
Oh, beautiful. Yeah.
We're excited to meet some of the wrestlers. Everybody's having a great time here.
Yeah, well, you're the perfect man to promote it, man. You're one that doesn't mind getting your hands dirty and getting the work done. You got women's matches here at the Batavia card, and what else do you have?
We got the women's matches. We got Haley Dillon, who's she's new to the game, but we're excited to have her in ESW. We got Vanna Black coming over from Ontario, student of Rip Impact. Nothing but great things to say about her. She's doing really good things in Ontario, so we're lucky to have her.
Yeah.
We got Kevin Bennett, the ESW Heavyweight Champion, defending his title. James Sega, a local for ESW.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the students coming out of the Buffalo Wrestling Academy, they're going to be making their way on the card, getting their first opportunity at this.
Well, that's going to be great.
Exciting card.
Yeah, that's going to be great, man. I'm a big fan, like as I said, of ESW, and this is a treat for Batavia, of course. ESW hits the town, and are you and your brother going to bring the belts back to Buffalo?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think you are too. Yeah. What a great tag team. I would love to have that tag team over this side of the border.
We'll make it happen.
Yeah, bring those ESW tag titles back, man. That's going to be unbelievable. Mayhem at the McCarthy Arena, at the McCarthy Ice Center, Empire State Wrestling invades. Jake the Snake Roberts, Bob Bagwell, Ted DiBiase, Vince Valor, Bill Collier, a women's match, and all sorts of wrestling. ESWTix.com. Vince, do you have anything else? I'll let you get back to your Nickel City and start promoting.
Just looking forward to the fans coming out, having a good time, making this debut for Batavia a special one.
It's going to be great, man. Go check it out. Vince Valor, it's good talking to you, man. ESWTix.com, baby. Get those tickets for Batavia's show. And look out, because ESW is invading.
Awesome. Thank you, brother.
Hey, thank you, Vince. Enjoyed listening to you guys talk about wrestling.
Yeah, definitely. I really enjoyed being on. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Vince.
All right.
All right, Vince. Wow, fantastic.
Vince Valor, yeah.
Yeah, Batavia. Yeah, just not that far away.
Yes, you know what? It was a well-rounded show. We included the Americans on Canada Day. We had Nate Matson in from Detroit. He's got a big show coming up in the
Essex County. Essex, yes. Down by Windsor, yeah.
Yes. Actually, let me get my notes. Do you have any plugs, Pat Porter?
I know where Essex is, yeah. Down by Windsor. I used to live down there in Chatham, which wasn't far from Essex, by the way.
The Essex Fun Fest, that's happening July 9th. Check out BorderCityWrestling.com for that. Nice to hear from Jackie. The documentary comes out
Jackie Martling, yeah.
Documentary comes out July 18th. Apple, iTunes, and Amazon.
Matt Kundle
as well, and of course Vince Valor.
And you
922 Wine for Jackie, and what's his email in case people want?
For Jackie, I've got Jokeland, one word, Jokeland at AOL.com.
Jokeland at AOL.com to get the
AOL.com
to get the other half of that book that wasn't released. But check out that documentary.
Tell him you heard it on our show here, Infamous Jay Moore Show with Pat Porter.
On 4680Q, Pat Porter. Do you have any other plugs? I think you've done enough.
Yeah, of course you do. Yeah. You don't want me talking on your show.
You can talk on my show. The floor is yours. I've taken over an hour here. We went in overtime.
Yeah, I'm going to bill you for the extra time. You know. Okay. we'll add it to my show next Friday. I'm back on Friday at 3 o'clock. You on Saturday at 3.
On Friday. We're back here on Saturday at 3. I promise not to go long. I promise not to be jammed with guests, but it was worth it on Canada Day, Pat Porter. And happy Canada Day to everybody listening. And I got nothing.
We'll catch you Friday. We'll catch you Saturday next week at 4680